Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm at the park again. It's like 9 o'clock or 9:30 at night. It was too hot today to come out here during the daytime, so I came at night. I brought my puppy with me. He's sitting in my lap again. I just wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind and it's kind of bothering me. There's this, I guess it's a commercial. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know who made this or what this YouTube channel is about. If it's just a sick individual, or I don't really know. But anyways, it's a commercial about a mark that you put on your right hand or your forehead, and they're calling this mark the mark of God, and they're gearing it towards Christians, and they're even putting Jesus Christ's name on it. And they're saying that people can be like, I guess like selected for it or chosen for this mark. And it's not any mark that comes from God or Jesus. It's the actual mark of the beast. If you look at it, it's got symbolism of the Illuminati with the rectangle, and it has embedded 666 in it, and it's purely from Satan. I'm hoping that the wind isn't too bad. I listened to my other video and I could hear the wind was getting kind of bad. But anyways, this mark, they're saying if you get this mark, you'll be protected and stuff like that, and you'll be able to buy and sell, things of that nature. I mean, they're even admitting all that in this video, just like what the Bible talks about. But you can see that it has the Illuminati all over it, and they even mention the New World Order and One World Religion. I mean, they mention all of this, and it's not something that we want, or any Christian would want. If you're a real true Christian, you won't want to get this mark. It's a really bad ideal. And I noticed that it's geared mainly towards the Christians, and if you really think about it, you can see right through all this and the reasons behind it. Because if you think about it, Satan's not too concerned about atheists or non-believers or people who just don't know what to believe. He's not concerned with those people. He's only concerned with Christians, because he wants Christians to fail and miss the mark, and miss the opportunity to go and be with Jesus in heaven and have our eternity, and be with our King. He wants us to miss that, and he wants us to burn in hell. And he already knows he thinks he's got a pretty good chance already with the atheist people, that community of people. And now he's going to target Christians, to make sure that, he can get as many of us as he can. And that's the way I see this. And a lot of people, they say, don't worry, God will speak to his children and they'll hear his voice, and they won't. I agree with all of that, but I also worry because there is some people that are, I don't know, I'm not going to insult anybody, but there's people who are a little slow. Maybe they can't read the Bible, or there's something mentally handicapped about them, or but they look normal, or there's a lot of different types of people in this world. And I think it's very important that we give each and every person that opportunity to tell them that this mark is of the devil and of Satan, and don't take this mark, and not just, walk away from it and not say nothing because, we feel that God will take care of it. Yes, God will take care of it, but I think that we should sound the alarm. We should allow people to know, even if they already know. It don't hurt to tell them, even if they already know. I just feel that that's very important. My channel is not big anymore, so I don't know how far out this message will actually go. And I've noticed that even on my Facebook channel, it's not, I don't know if they put a censoring up or what, but it's just, I've noticed it's way different, since my Facebook channel got taken down. I mean, my YouTube channel got taken down. But whatever you do, please don't take the mark of the beast. And also, if you go to look for this video that's called The Mark of God, and it's by, I think they call LieKillers or Killer Liars or something like that. I can't remember completely off the top of my head. It wasn't worth remembering. But if you do watch their video, keep in mind that they could have hidden subliminal messaging embedded in the music that they play with the video. So I would recommend muting the sound so you don't listen to it, but because it really doesn't have any words to it, it's just music. Just read what they're saying in that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not really shocked, but I was a little surprised when I saw that video, because I didn't think that they would actually throw in that it's part of the New World Order, and they threw in there about the one world religion and how everybody should unite. It don't matter which God you choose, because that's what they're going to say, because all roads lead to heaven, and that's not true. There's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. And seriously, we're living in the end times, and it's time for all of us to work together as Christians and love our brothers and our sisters and care about their well-being and where they might spend eternity, and open our mouths and tell them about the good news, and then also warn them about this deception that's coming. And not only is this deception coming, but also the fallen angels, they're going to come too. And of course, they're not going to call themselves a fallen angel. They're going to call themselves an alien from another planet, as part of the deception. Just like this mark, they're not going to call it the mark of the beast. That'd be too much of a, I don't know, like a telltale sign, So they're not going to call it the mark of the beast. They're going to call it something else. And people need to realize that word God, they use that word God with a lot of different entities. They use it with, like, Buddha. They think Buddha's God. They think Satan is God. They call him God. And a lot of people, they look at their money, and it has Illuminati symbols all over the money, if you look at it. And if you start doing some research on the Illuminati, and it says, "In God we trust," that's not the God. That's not Jesus, God of heaven. That's not what they're talking about, our King. They're talking about Satan, Lucifer. That's who that's referring to on our money. And the same thing whenever they say that video about the mark of God, it's not the mark of God, it's the mark of Satan. And of course they're going to throw Jesus' name in there, because they gotta figure, they figure that if they do that, it'll get more Christians to jump on the wagon with them. And I'm sorry, I guess, don't do it. Just don't. Please, whatever you do, please don't take this mark. And tell people, tell your family members, tell your people at work, even if you might risk getting fired, tell people that you see on the street, people you see in Walmart, people everywhere you see. If you have to, put a bumper sticker on your car that talks about this mark of the beast and not to take it. I wish somebody would print up some bumper stickers. If I had the money, I would do it, but I don't have the resource to do that. But it would, then they should give them out for free, or maybe by donation or something, and I don't know. I just think this word needs to get out as much as possible. Even if you put a note on the bathroom door and you tape it to the bathroom door, do not take the mark of the beast, and explain it. It's part of the Illuminati. New World Order is the Illuminati. Illuminati, they worship Satan. They do a ritual out in Bohemian Grove where they make a mock child sacrifice to their Satan god. This isn't nothing about Jesus. And if you look at you can see all the evidence that all this is coming from the Illuminati if you just see the symbolism that's embedded in the video. But anyways, don't fall for these deceptions. Don't fall for this alien invasion from another planet. It's not. It's the fallen angels. And yes, they've been here before. And yes, they were worshipped as gods. You've got to think about it. They had special abilities and people would worship them. And that's where we get a lot of these Greek gods from. They were the fallen angels. And a lot of people, they follow that instead of the Bible. And they believe in those gods. And they don't believe in Jesus. It's just crazy. I just don't see how people can not know the truth. To me it's so plain as day. I see it plain as day. And I'm thinking, why can't other people see the truth? Why are they so concerned about Greek gods and that Jesus wasn't the Messiah and he wasn't the Son of God? How can they think stuff like that? And then I don't understand why they don't like to hear about Jesus when he's all about love, or why they don't want anything to do with Jesus when he's just about love. A lot of people, like atheists, try to say they don't want to believe in the God that, flooded the world. Well, he had to flood the world. When you read Genesis 6, it talks about the sons of God, and that's the term that they use for angel, the son of God. And if you read the Bible, they even called Adam the son of God. And the reason why is because Adam wasn't born from a woman. He was made by God. So of course they're going to call him son of God. But anything after Adam, it doesn't say son of God. You just have to study and kind of put the puzzle piece together, and you'll see what's going on. And there's so many people that are confused, and they think that son of God means a certain race of, or a certain person, or a certain group of people or something. And that's not true. It's referring to the fallen angels. And if it was referring to just another type of, another bloodline of people, like the blood of Cain or something like that, or Abel or whatever they say, I can't remember off the top of my head. They would just be humans, two humans mating. And the Bible says the sons of God saw the daughters of men and that they were beautiful, and they picked them a wife. And they had children, and these children were different than normal children. And if it would have been talking about humans, then they would have just had regular human children. But no, it says they had giants. And there were giants in the land even after the flood. And so right there should cue you in. And they've even found giant skeletons and giant skulls and stuff like that. You just have to do your research and look it up. These giant skeletons that they find, they're like the redhead skeletons, giant skeletons, they back up the Bible, and they find them all over the world. And the God had to flood the world because he had to get rid of them. But of course, it took many more times to get rid of them. Like Sodom and Gomorrah, they had those fallen angels in the city. They had the same activities that we're having right now, where gayness is popular. Back then in Sodom and Gomorrah, gayness was popular, and the fallen angels were in the city. And if you pay attention, it seems like when the fallen angels are around, that's when the popularity of gayness becomes very, very popular. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think it's, these angels are really angry because they can't go back to be in heaven with Jesus. They're angry. They petitioned, they tried to go back to heaven. Just read the book of Enoch. They tried, but God said that they knew the truth and they messed up, and They couldn't go back after they messed up, and they are so angry because us humans, we have the opportunity to go to heaven, and get forgiveness for the things that we do that's wrong, and they don't. So they're angry, and so they're gonna try to make it to where, if they gotta burn in hell for their crimes, then we should burn in hell too for our crimes. They think that's only fair, but that's not the way that's not how God works. He's a loving God, and He died on the cross for us, our sins, not theirs. And they had the opportunity. They were in heaven. They saw heaven. They were living in heaven. And, they decided to turn bad, and that's on them. And they must pay the consequences of that action. And they don't want to. And so now they're after the humans, and they're putting out as many deceptions as they possibly can. That's where you get all these extra religions from. That's where we get a lot of false doctrines and false preachers, and all this comes from these fallen angels. They want, and then on top of that, these fallen angels aren't stupid. They know that in order to control the world, they have to control the leaders of the world. So they're going to control the leaders of the world, and these leaders, they are not going to tell you, oh yeah, by the way, we did find Noah's Ark, whenever there's evidence that there's a Noah's Ark. They're not going to tell you that they have evidence of Jesus or anything like that. They're not going to tell you that, because they don't want you to know, because it's a deal that they made with these fallen angels in return for technology. They get technology from these fallen angels, and they get like wealth and all kinds of stuff. It's unbelievable probably what they can get, because these fallen angels make it worth worth that person's efforts or whatever to follow them. They make it seem like they got a little piece of heaven, and these people are ignorant enough to believe it, that they're going to get a piece of heaven on this earth, and not realize that they sold their soul to Satan for that little piece of heaven, that little bit of technology. And then they're trying to lead the whole world into hell with them, because they got this agreement with them. People should already know this. That they've been, of course they call them aliens. That they've been dealing and willing with aliens for a while. It's, everyone knows that. And if you don't, then I guess you've been living under a rock. But everyone knows that, And so when they come out and say, oh, look, we got proof of, aliens, that's just a big lie. They've been dealing with these aliens long time. It's just now they want to, now they just want to share the information with you and tell you that they are real. But they're not aliens, they're fallen angels. And they have a bad agenda, and they want to make sure that we go to hell. They're angry, and they want to destroy God's creation. And that's why they have the gayness, because it goes against it goes against what God intended for humans. It goes against the Bible. That's why there's an increase in abortion. In fact, if you do a research, they're even putting dead baby cells in some of our food that we're eating. This is all coming from our government. And there's been rumors that they sprayed blood in the chemtrails, but I don't know. I don't do a lot of research on chemtrails. That's just something that somebody had told me. And if you think about it, maybe the DNA that they're spraying in the chemtrails, the blood, is for those fallen angels that are on the earth. Maybe that's how they survive. It's to keep them in their form, because people you probably think I'm crazy. People probably think this is crazy, but these reptilians, they're real, and they're part of this fallen angels. And I've seen them before. When I was working at a strip club, I seen them. And maybe in order for them to keep their form as a human, they have to drink or ingest human blood, and maybe that's the reason why they put human, cells in our food, and there's human, spraying blood in the chemtrails. It's for them to keep them, in their human form. But the Bible says that in the end times the veil will be lifted. Maybe that's what it's talking about. Here soon we'll see these fallen angels for what they really are. And if you think about it, it's kind of interesting that a reptilian, when you think about a reptilian, I think of a snake. I don't know if y'all think of snake, but most people think of snake. And then it says in the Garden of Eden, that a snake was talking to Eve. And, and Satan's always had the same motive, like, here, follow me and I'll give you the world, you'll be wise and you'll be famous or whatever, I'll give you this and that. He tried that with Jesus. When Jesus was fasting for 40 days, he was trying to, get him to bow down and worship him, and he'll give him everything he ever wanted, the world and everything. He could become like a god or something, even though Jesus is already our God. But he was trying that trick on Jesus, and that's what he was telling Adam and Eve, that they could be like gods because they'd know good from evil, And now if you listen to these New Agers or people that don't read their Bible because, they think they got a better way, they think that they can be gods. And they think that this uniting together with the New World Order is a great ideal, and all the religions coming together is a great ideal. It's not. It's not a good ideal. Yes, God does want us to get along and be peaceful with one another, but that doesn't mean that he wants us to join hands, with other religions and be tolerant of other religions. I mean, how do I explain this? What I'm saying is, their whole teaching is going to be all roads leads to heaven, and that's not true. And it goes against the Bible. And for a Christian to go along with that, they're going against their own belief, and I think that's wrong. And I don't know, this world is really, really turning weird. Like, I noticed that there's a lot of people complaining, like kids in school, getting bullied, and, people complaining that they're offended and all that. I mean, some people need to get a thicker skin on them or something. I mean, why be a whiner, Get some thick skin on you. I mean, when I was in grade school, I got picked on. It's part of life. I got picked on pretty hard. One of these days, I might actually do a video about what happened to me when I was in school. I was bullied big time. And I'm not even kidding. And to me, it made me a better person. It made me who I am today. And I wouldn't change it. I'm glad I was picked on in school, because, I don't know, I just feel like it made me a better person. There's a lot of things, like, if you think about it, we're being molded. God's still working on us. He's molding us, and He's teaching us through our life mistakes. Even things like that isn't really our mistake. Somebody just torturing you or being mean and hateful. You learn things through these experiences that you go through in life, and it molds you into a better person. It makes you stronger. And I don't understand why all these people have such thin skins, and they want to make all these dumb laws where they want to put a 5-year-old in jail for, bullying, which is retarded. And it just goes to show that we're living in the end times, and also they're trying to get it to the point where preachers and Christians can't preach against gay marriage and stuff like that. And it's kind of odd. The gay marriage thing is happening here in the end times, when we have all these hurricanes, tornadoes, all these natural disasters, sun flares, fireballs falling from the sky, strange sounds heard worldwide. landslides, and it just seems to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And then we got the government trying to pull in this new world order with their antichrist, and the mark of the beast, which they're calling it the mark of God. And then you got all these gay people trying to get married legalize their marriage, and they want preachers to accept it. They want Christians to accept it. And I think that's wrong. I mean, I'm sorry if people are offended that we don't accept it, that it goes against our belief, But you know what? I'm not going to tell that. I mean, if they come up and ask me, yes, I'll tell them what I believe. I don't believe in gay marriage. But you know what? I'm not a type person. I'm not going to go and literally attack somebody because of their lifestyle. That's not my business. But I think it's wrong when they try to make it my business by forcing me to accept it. I shouldn't be forced to accept anything. Everyone has a right to their opinion. I mean, like, some people like mashed potatoes and some people don't. Should we start making a law and, ban, I don't know, put people in prison for talking bad about not liking mashed potatoes? I mean, the examples can go on and on, like, some people like football, some people don't. Should there be some kind of, law against that? Some people like science class and some people like math class. We all have our differences, but they don't want you to be different. They want you to be just like everyone else. It's just getting crazier and crazier in this world. Well, anyways, my kids are waiting on me, and I have one more lap to do because I'm walking, and I just wanted to share this with y'all. Take the time out and share this with y'all. I know it's kind of a little just ranting or just, I don't know, just random stuff, but I might do this more often. It clears my head and it makes me feel better. I don't know, it just does. But I love you all, and God bless you. Alright, bye.